Have you ever really thought about the secret life of the stuff you use every day? You know, the phone in your hand, your favorite pair of sneakers, even the cereal you had for breakfast. Every single one of them has a story. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that story, the entire journey of a product, from just a tiny spark of an idea all the way to its very last days on the shelf.
It really all boils down to this one big question, right? How does some random thought, a what if, actually turn into a real thing you can buy and use? Well, I'll tell you, it isn't magic. It's a process, a journey, and it all starts with that first spark.
So, let's start at the very beginning, the origin story. In the business world, they have a name for this, new product development. You'll often just hear it called NPD. And trust me, this is where all the action begins. Okay, so what is new product development really? Well, think of it like the official playbook a company uses to turn an idea into a reality. It's the step-by-step guide for creating things that people, actually want or need. It's all about finding a problem and building the solution. But you might be thinking, why go through all that trouble? Why not just stick with what works? Well, in today's world, if you're standing still, you're actually falling behind. Creating new things is basically the lifeblood of a company. It's how they stay in the game, keep up with competitors, grow their profits, and keep things fresh and exciting. And here's a really interesting thing. New doesn't always mean some huge world-changing invention that nobody's ever seen before. A lot of the time, new is much simpler. It could be adding a new flavor of soda, making your phone's camera just a little bit better, or even taking an old product and marketing it to a whole new group of people. All right, but turning that idea into something real? Well, it's not a casual walk in the park. It's more like a high-stakes race, a race against the clock, against the budget, and against every other company trying to do the same thing. It's a tough journey, and not every idea makes it to the finish line. And this right here, this is the gauntlet. This is what every single idea has to go through. It all starts with a huge pile of ideas, but most of them get tossed out right away. The few that survive get developed and tested on real people. If those people like it, the company does the math to see if it'll actually make money. And only then, after all that, do they actually build the thing for its big launch. So after surviving all of that, a product finally makes it to the market. It's officially born. It's out in the world for everyone to see. But believe it or not, this isn't the end of the story. Nope, it's just the end of chapter 1. Now we get to the second part of our story, the product life cycle, or PLC. So if new product development was all about the birth of a product, the PLC is about its entire life, from its first day on the shelves all the way to its retirement. The product life cycle is basically the predictable story arc that pretty much every product follows. And if a company understands these stages, they can be way smarter about how they manage the product's journey from start to finish. So here they are, the 4 main chapters in any product's life. It all starts with the introduction. Then, if things go well, it hits a period of rapid growth. After a while, it settles into maturity, and then eventually it enters decline. I mean, think about it. From the latest tech gadget to a box of crackers, everything follows this path. So how does a company actually manage this roller coaster ride from boom to bust? Let's break down each stage, because the game plan you need when you're launching something new is totally different from the one you need when that product is getting old. First up, the introduction stage. This is the tough beginning. Sales are usually pretty slow, mainly because no one even knows your product exists yet. So companies have to spend a ton of money on marketing just to get the word out. As you can guess, they're not really making much, if any, profit here. The only goal is to get noticed. But then, if you play your cards right, you hit the really exciting part, growth. Sales start to take off, profits are looking great, but there's a catch. All that success is like a beacon, and suddenly, competitors start popping up everywhere. So, the strategy has to shift. Now, it's all about making your product even better and getting it in front of as many people as possible. After that wild climb, things start to level off. This is the long plateau of maturity. The market is packed. Pretty much everyone who was going to buy your product already has. Sales growth slows to a crawl, and the fight with competitors gets really intense. At this point, you're just trying to defend your turf, usually with sales, discounts, and small tweaks to the product. And this really shows you the incredible highs and the inevitable lows of the journey. In the growth stage, everything's going up. Sales, profits, excitement. It feels like you're on top of the world. But what goes up must come down. The decline stage always comes when sales and profits start to fall because something newer, better, or cooler has come along. So we followed this entire journey, from a simple idea all the way to an aging product. But why does any of this matter? Well, because understanding this big picture is absolutely crucial for any business that wants to survive and thrive.
Let's put it all together. It's actually pretty simple. New product development, or NPD, is everything that happens before a product launches. It's all about creation and innovation. The product lifecycle, or PLC, is everything that happens after the launch. It's all about managing that product's life. They are two halves of the same story.
And that's the key takeaway right there. Knowing where a product is in its life story helps a company make smarter decisions. It tells them when to spend money on advertising, when to cut prices, or when it's time to start working on the next big thing. It turns guessing into a real strategy. And that brings us to one last thing to think about. I want you to look around you right now. Based on everything we just talked about, what's a product you use that you think is nearing the end of its life? And maybe more importantly, what new idea is just waiting in the wings to take its place?